to say the start of the last round of 1996. But I'm reminded, of course, that Auckland have already played tonight against Brisbane. They got thrashed, and we'll give you that score in just a moment. This is Spence. First set of sixes, fireworks. Endeavour to light the skies. They go down the blind side with Dimmick. Valiantly plugging on in 1996, Jim Dimmick has been running around on one leg for the greater part of the year. Freeman will know this park at Penrith. He'll know it well. The idiosyncrasies, the way that it rolls away to the corners. And there's a wide shot of the fireworks smoke billowing down the ground, and we are obviously having trouble picking up some clear pictures, but that is Katic in number 4.
Yeah, reminiscent of a night in England. That's where John Cartwright is heading to throughout his career with the Salford club. Quite a show of strength tonight from Jim Dimmick. He was one player that could have been forgiven for not playing this evening. He hasn't had a lot of matches for Parramatta this season, obviously been plagued by that knee injury for many weeks now, and he's one player who could quite justifiably have said, well, I'll be better off having a rest and starting anew next year, but that's not the case.
Phil Adamson losing it. Parramatta have got it 43 metres away from their own line. Freeman goes out and finds a running Justin Morgan, who's playing in the second row tonight. Now it's McKenzie. He's got better and better, Marty McKenzie, as he's worked his way into Sydney football. Freeman behind Dimmick. Lawler found Maybon, but Maybon found the shoulder of Ryan Girdler. Freeman then keeping it low. Conditions conducive to kicking, both low and high. Bobby Thompson's with it. Freeman gave him a little bit of a jostle up. Teeth gritted as Andrew Hinson takes his first tackle of the game. Second man play. Now Cartwright. This family, the Cartwright family, have been here since the birth of the Penrith club. Merv Cartwright was their first secretary, the father of John. As the penalty goes to the home side in front of a brave crowd.
Goes against Jim Dimmick. He was out of the play when the ball was played and the referee got him for offside. He wasn't in a marker position. Darren Casey kicking for touch. He's one of the ex-Parramatta players in this Penrith lineup. No surprise to see Royce Simmons bringing Phil Adamson back in up against his old club. We're looking to show that they've made the right decision in switching.
Carl McNamara. Been around with Penrith for a long time, Carl, now. And he's one of the iron men of the club. Looked like a knock-on, but I don't think so. Craig Gower. Brett Boyd. Cartwright inside. Here's a try. Jody Gore, the number 13 has scored. Oh, that was really easy in the final wash-up.
Very, very soft try there to the Panthers. The inside ball from Cartwright. You'll see here the lazy defence on the inside. He frees it there. You can see this Parramatta player is a long way away from the next Parramatta defender, and that opens up the hole for Gore quite easily. It was Marty McKenzie slow in coming across, and a bad sign early on to not have an inside cover defender.
And you can tell by the intensity of the defence so far that both these teams running around just for practice tonight, but Parramatta still have something to play for, but that won't help them. And a good start for the Penrith side, some good young kids in this team, and they've got many good things going to happen to them over the next few years if these players can stick together.
Well, it's now gone from needing to win by 53 to probably 59 for the Eels. Ryan Girdler converting this try. A sensational effort from Girdler this season. 150 points, puts him 4th on the point-scoring list. I think the side has only scored 330 points in total, so he's had a bumper season in a disappointing year for his club.
Girdler then with a beautiful kick. splitting the uprights. Penrith 6, Parramatta no score. 5 minutes gone at a sodden Penrith Park. Freeman. They've come up quickly, Penrith, and Freeman read that. They were open for the grubber kick then. Lawler tries it now. Beautifully read by Bobby Thompson. He'll get it back. No, he's ruled a line drop out on him.
And Thompson blows up. He thought he was over the line. But as soon as Ravi said he'll get it back, he knew he was going to be tackled in goal.
It's never going to happen, was it? He's been a very good player for Penrith, Bobby Thompson. He's played 18 first-grade matches this year, wriggling out of tackles, diving to get back in the field of play, and you had to think that he just about did so.
Should point out that the goal line is part of the in-goal in both attack and defence. The dead ball line is not. Now, Morgan. Spence is going forward. He's across. Matthew Spence scores a try just as easily for Parramatta, as did Jody Gall for Penrith.
They're two young players combining here for Parramatta who really are going to be good players in the coming years. Justin Morgan slips through. The tackle from the Penrith player is a low one, so both arms are free. And Matthew Spence, he hasn't had many games in the top grade in the starting lineup. That's the case tonight, and Morgan here doing it all. Gower going low, and Spence did the right thing. He dived into the in-goal area to make sure he wouldn't be held up.
And just looking at the soft defence so far tonight, you'd have to be tipping a high-scoring affair despite the conditions. He's had a pretty good year, Matthew Spence. He's been mainly a reserve forward, a bench player who's come on many times and done some good things. I remember one game, I think it was against Canberra, when they whopped them. He scored 2 or 3 tries and set up a couple more. Had a great game.
There's young Lawler now, Chris Lawler, with the number 6 on his back tonight. Confident player, and obviously with a good deal of versatility on his side, but that kick is away. No luck for Chris Lawler. 6-4. The Panthers over the Eels in round 22. Parramatta then with Dimmick turning it inside for Crouch. Freeman a dummy half, using Spence as the running forward. 40 metres out from the Penrith line, trailing by 2. And Dimmick now provides for Scanlon, a dummy, and then he goes for the line. He's over. Scanlon scores. I would imagine a memorable moment for the youngster.
Yes, a try in his first game in the top grade, taking Parramatta to the front. It was Jim Dimmick attracting defenders on the blind side of the ruck. That sets up this try. We freeze play there. You can see 2 players, well, in that Malia, have come in, and that's 2-on-1 on the outside. And Jim Dimmick putting Scanlon in the hole. He's got support on the outside in Davey. He throws the dummy. That turns Bobby Thompson inside out. And Scanlon, former player from Toowoomba, I think he is, has come down this year. Had glandular fever early in the season, and this will be a big thrill.
Well, they always had the numbers there. They had 4 on 3 to start with, but you've still got to work hard for it all to come off, and Dimmick did that with the skill that he's got. And a great young moment for this kid. Scanlon scampers over.
Yeah, Ryan Girdler made the wrong decision there. He came in and he needed to stay out on his man, and Jim Dimmick attracts 2. There's going to be a hole somewhere on the outside.
Chris Lawler converts, and Parramatta now leading by 4. 16 minutes gone. Parramatta leading Penrith. I thought Cartwright was just coming to the bench for a rest, but apparently he's suffered injury. Steve Roach.
Medial strain for John Cartwright. They're just going to strap it up, and he'll be back in a minute.
Be a shame to see Cartwright leave the match injured tonight. I'm sure they'll do something for him at the end of the evening. This is Crouch cleaning up the loose ball for Parramatta.
And another back rower in trouble as the last signal. Justin Morgan leaving the field, clutching his left arm. Bobby Thompson, a brave effort to clean up, can't do so. Knocked back by the Parramatta chasers, so 6 again within the 30 metres.
Morgan leaving the ground, Parramatta mounting another attack. They take it to the right of the ground and Davey will make the corner. Scott Davey goes in to score. Corner post has been lowered, but the referee has awarded a fair try to Scott Davey.
Well, a little kick over the top gave them back possession because Thompson couldn't clean up. And then it's Jim Dimmick who's the chief destroyer again. As we freeze it there, you see the Penrith widest defender, a little bit of no man's land. There's space on the outside and Dimmick puts the ball over the top. Beautifully judged pass, just over the fingertips. And Scott Davey diving in low, gets into the corner. Jim Dimmick reading it beautifully.
Yeah, what a ball, eh? Sensational stuff there from Dimmick. This is one of the classiest players in the game today. And a beautiful ball sets up their third try. The Eels going all right. But some pretty ordinary defence out wide, all the same from the Penrith side.
Yeah,
did not read it.
Andrew Hinson came in off his wing and left a little bit of space down that corridor. And Scott Davey, another player who has had limited opportunities in the top grade since changing clubs, former Canterbury player. And there's the task confronting Chris Lawler.
Way out on the sideline is not a bad effort. In fact, he's got it over. I thought it would drop short. He has got some breeze with him. It's an excellent kick. 16-6, Parramatta over Penrith now. Will certainly be to the fore, I would imagine, most particularly in the match tomorrow night between Cronulla and Newcastle, the kicking game, and haven't they got some kickers? Now the Panthers down by 10. Come back. Carty's about to come back on. Cal McNamara. Gower combining with Girdler.
From the Panther River change bench, Gavin Clinch, number 15, replacing Gower.
No markers, he might score. Oh no, that was quickly read by Maybon. Gee, I'll tell you what, Girdler, he was close.
Yeah, great work by Girdler. A good strong run, then a good quick play the ball. No markers, puts it in. Thought he was going to get there. Look at Maybon, little Roddy. He gets there.
Little Roddy. Gavin Clinch on for the Penrith team. Jersey number 15 as Matthew Spencer again leaves the field. Clinch, a former Cronulla halfback, has played in the halfback position in the first grade for Penrith this season. Andrew Hinson brings the ball back, takes it inside the 30-metre line.
Of course, it'd be remiss of us, just Fatty's reminded me as he refers to Rod Maybon as little Roddy, one of Paul's very good friends and very good players that he's played with and coached. Pulls down the curtain on a great career on Sunday. Trevor Gilmeister.
Little Trevi.
Gilly, do you mind? Gilly. But to you, Trevor, thank you for the memories. You've been magnificent. And you are one of the greats going out of the game this weekend.
Yeah, good on you, Gilly, legend.
Now, Jody Gall, who is trying very hard for Penrith. Drew, 15, puts the kick in the air. Gavin Clinch. And it's come back down for Parramatta, quite fair and square.
Well, they're putting up plenty of kicks. If anything, they're getting too many players going up for the ball. It's just a dead-set bun fight, and they're having 2 and 3 go up. But it's just they should pick one out, go for it, and try and tap it back maybe.
Anthony Bonus. And he's going to rule the ball was knocked down, so it will be a scrum that Penrith will have the feed of.
And the Eels starting to give the Panthers a few opportunities at this end of the field. All the field position early was with the blue and golds. They've made a couple of mistakes in their last sets of 6 down this end. A big back line set, Craig Gower onto Girdler, throws the dummy, steps back inside, and then loses the football.
Lawler does well, quickly fires it out. Russell turns it in. Kelly is smashed away on the halfway. Quick play the ball by the Eels. Russell's with it again, and he's pulled down 40 metres out from the Penrith line. To the right they go with a big back line, and this is Bonus. The man responsible for putting Parramatta under a bit of pressure just a few seconds ago. McKenzie. Freeman. Dimmick. Dimmick getting rid of Waddell. Pulled down eventually by McGilvray. And this is the last for Parramatta. Dimmick's got more problems now. Lawler, it's away now for Scanlon. The kick came off Penrith. Russell gets it back in field. Batted away. Scanlon does the same. Russell is held and put away. When I said it come off Penrith, he didn't play at the football, so he didn't nullify the tackle count.
Yeah, they went for the numbers there, had them, and as a matter of fact, in the end, the Penrith defence came over in cover and secured the situation. Got on the outside of the defence there, 3 on 2. The little kick went in, and it's a bat-a-thon from here. Backwards, forwards, sideways.
Russell finally tackled from the ensuing play. Jim Dimmick leaves the field and Penrith received the penalty. Already 9 in this game. 3 restarts with Steve Waddell taking the first charge.
Just looking down at the tunnel, Jim Dimmick ushered straight to the dressing rooms. Coming up to the halftime break anyway. Well, Paul has already had his comment on Penrith's kicking game. Steve Roach with another comment on it.
Yeah, it has been pretty ordinary every time they have put up the high ball. Roddy Maven hasn't had to make up any ground to receive the ball on the full. I would have thought if you'd have watched the videotapes, he's really good under the high ball over the full season, and you'd make him run for the football.
Adamson out wide. Cut it. The ball goes to ground, back and kicked ahead. There could be a penalty here. The Penrith player was taken out. And there's the penalty going to Parramatta.
Oh, that'll do, mate.
Against the Penrith player for not...
That's right. Had to go the other way, I felt. When Caddick put the kick in, he was taken out. And I think that's what the touch has come on for, to tell the referee about the situation.
I think he's got this wrong, to tell you the truth. I understand what ruling he's applied, but this is Caddick originally, then it goes back off Adamson, batted away off Caddick. It wasn't him, but in fact that young player that put the kick through was taken out of it. Now the other bloke, of course, is in front of the kicker, and he's required to stay 10 metres away from the man playing the ball. But the first penalty, the first breach, was against the Penrith player taken out.
No doubt about it, Rabs. I'm with you, champion.
Have a look at this. It's like a battlefield.
They're everywhere. So Parra playing with 11 at the moment, and the trainers on the far side are calling out the referee. They'd like the game stopped. A couple of these blokes, I think, are pretty serious. One of them hasn't moved, as a matter of fact.
Muchmore is one of them. Now the referee has called timeouts. One of the Parramatta trainers advising that we have got a problem with 2 players down, and they've called for the stretcher for the one on the left. This is Muchmore on the right, and I think it might be Matthew Spence. But it's a halftime break. It is Matthew Spence. The halftime break has been indicated. And there's the injury being incurred by Spence, who's been absolutely outstanding for Parramatta, and a tragic way for his night to come to an end. Much more the other player is being assisted by the trainers from the ground, but they've called for the stretcher for Matthew Spence. We'll take a break then, and that is a sorry sight because Matthew Spence has been playing brilliantly for Parramatta. They lead by 10 points as we take a break. Just preparing for the restart, and Jason Smith is back. It surprises me, and a mistake will not be pleasing to Roy Simmons.
A simple drop there from Carl McNamara, just taking the offload. Had a look to see where the defence was coming in these conditions. That is tragic. And Chris Lawler in the scrum win. Tackle 15 metres out. Greater chance for the Parramatta side in the opening seconds of the second half.
This is Crouch. The youngster came off the bench to replace Jason Smith, who's back on the park. And you can look for him to get involved. In fact, that is him with the ball now, but it's a forward pass. Freeman appeals.
Well, I've got to say this is a courageous effort from Jason Smith and Jim Dimmick to be playing in this game. Can't see how that's forward. If we get a good shot of Jason Smith during the second half, you'll see that he's got stitches left, right and centre on the left side of his mouth. Maybe with the fact that they've got so many injury problems, Smith was pretty much in a position where he needed to come back out. Pretty good stitching job on him.
Oh, they'd be hurting too on a cold, wet night like this one.
Girdler then to the 40-metre line. 10 points the difference, but as was pointed out a few seconds ago, there's a big breeze at the back of Penrith for the second half.
Here's Troy Campbell's been called out here. Oh, he throws a half by forearm out.
Yeah, no need for that.
And look, he's had a good game tonight. We've seen a bit of Parramatta the last month, and he's been one of their most consistently good players, but he's got this habit of doing things like that, which we just saw, giving away penalties. He's got to get that right out of his game.
Waddell then on the surge, carries him to the Parramatta 20-metre line. And just repeating, if you've just joined us and you hadn't heard the result from Auckland earlier tonight, Brisbane annihilated Auckland to put them out of the quarter-final contention. And Phil Adamson at the moment trying to get a pass. He takes the tackle. They work on the blind. Cartwright linking up with Thompson, and then this is Katic. Back and away from Boyd. Into Gower. Gower goes for it himself, gets a pass away. Jody Gould gets his second try. No question about it. Good work by the number 7, and Jody Gould gets number 2.
Very strong work from Craig Gower. He's one of the future hopes for the Penrith club. Bob Fulton has already likened him to some degree to Brad Fittler, and that's some sort of rap coming from the Australian coach. Beautiful work, stepping through 2 tackles, offloading Gould, ducking low, the splash as he goes over. Looks as though Parramatta might put on the early points with the drop ball from the kickoff, but Penrith. You see Gower looking on the outside, throws the dummy. Campbell misses. Crouch over the top, can't wrap him up. And then the one-handed offload to Jody Gould. Jody Gould was the star of the match against Manly a couple of weeks ago. Strong runner, has plenty of work. Another easy attempt here for Ryan Girdler to take his side within 4.
Girdler then from right in front. Reducing that leeway by 6 points.
It could be a real thorn in the side of Parramatta in this second half. Phil Adamson starting to find a bit of momentum. Just waiting to see him pop one of those trademark passes. As McNamara now offloads on the fringe of the ruck. Jody Gould trying to get his right arm free to do the same. Can't do so. Fifth now.
Brett Boyd. Back for Steve Waddell to put it in the air. Not a bad kick either from the big fella. Maybon. Kelly. Ball comes spewing out.
Yeah,
Adamson waits to take the tackle.
A good cover tackle there on Kelly by the halfback, Craig Gower. So he's everywhere tonight, Gower.
He had a fine game, Stuart Kelly, against the Roosters a couple of weeks ago. There was a penalty here for the Panthers, but he's been very quiet since then. Got to start looking for the footballs. A bit of a dust-up between Ned Caddick and Gary Freeman. Unusual to see the Wiz involved.
Casey with the line kick. Waddell. Just outside the 20-metre line. And now Cartwright looking to take one of his colleague forwards ahead with him. You've got to follow Cartwright into those rucks. He's one of the best ball players in the game and has been for a long, long time. This is Girdler. 49 minutes gone. 4 points for margin. But they are holding the aces in the second half. The Panthers. Adamson getting wider in attack. Penrith wanting it quick to the left. Gower. Kelly throws him down. Boyd. Cartwright. Floating pass by Cartwright. Peterson can't get it away. It went backwards. It might be a try. I think it is. Yes, it's a try. Peterson has done well. Kelly, the centre, has scored.
And Johnny Cartwright says anything that Jim Dimmock can do, I can do just as well. A good cutout ball there. Should have been held, put into touch there by Shane Russell. And there's the dribs and drabs picked up by Caddick.
Yeah, the cover defence was very slow in coming across after the initial tackle was made by Shane Russell. He got help from Kelly. Then when it was picked up, very few Parramatta players coming across looking for the crumbs. Did well, Peterson. Kept the ball in the field of play. Jason Smith and Rod Maybon, well, Maybon dropped off. Jason Smith kept coming, and his knee took the try scorer. That's why he's got up a little bit of pain on the face, but he gets the 4-pointer.
Decent work there by both the touch judge and the referee. Nobody panicked. Sorted it out. They settled themselves down. And Caddick got the try. Girdler. 2 from 2 as they level up. This to put them in front from the sideline. 25 out. And it looks okay. Oh, it's a great kick. Well, they've both been kicking beautifully tonight. But Girdler's put his team in front. 50th minute of Friday night football. It's Russell. Kelly now. Campbell. Dimmock. Smith. West and Illawarra. 4 o'clock tomorrow, both in Sydney and Brisbane. Of course, that is a match that Wests simply have to win, because if, for instance, they and Newcastle are both beaten and a couple of other results go negatively, such as the Balmain game, then Wests have to win. They'll get beaten on percentages by Newcastle if they don't.
Really is a great concept, the top 8, isn't it? In the past, the top 5 was probably decided weeks their sleeve at the end of the season, but coming into this last round, 11 teams with some chance of being involved in quarterfinals, and that's kept the excitement all the way through. And it will be continued on with 8 teams from next weekend. And if the quality of football we've seen over the last couple of months is any indication, it should be one of the best series ever. Stuart Kelly's scoots out of dummy half.
The Rugby League linking up with Qantas for the final series. And if it's as good as last year, we are going to get some great football. Oh, Crouch on the end of a beauty from Boyd.
We have a wallet handed in the souvenir grandstand.
Finding the line right on the 20-metre T-bar.
To M. Earl. M. Earl, your wallet is in safe hands.
It's all been said about Jim Dimmick, but it must be a passion that he has for the game that drives him on, given that that knee injury has been plaguing him for the major part of the season. And Jason Smith, of course, fits under the same umbrella as Penrith win this scrum back on their own 20-metre line. Of course, Jim Dimmick was the centre of that controversy between the Australian Rugby League doctor and the club doctor, one saying he was fit to play, another one saying he wasn't. Gower again. Penrith, of course, the team that pulled off the shock of the year with that win against Manly. Gall running onto a pass there from Cartwright. This is the last. Looking for the kick. Gower on his feet now. I thought for a moment he was injured. Maybon carries it back about 12 metres out from his own line. The kick is okay. Dimmick again. Russell. Freeman. Parramatta not frightened to pass the ball and spread it back in their own 20-metre zone.
But that is the problem, isn't it, Steve Roche? You pointed out they're not getting forward, going sideways.
But it looks to me like they try and go wide early in the tackle count. Penrith kick down to keep them on their own line, and then they spread the ball straight away rather than going forward first.
Jason Smith snapping a kick in. Penrith unable to clean it up. Still unable to clean it up. Now they've got it. Andrew Hinson. Fred Peterson.
Gary Freeman, as captain, is being called out here. Referee just wanting to lay down some sort of law. Jim Dimmick, man penalised there for staying on the tackle too long.
Well, Freeman's retiring in about, what, 20 minutes, and he just keeps at him. The referees, he's been doing it for nearly 8 or 9 years now.
I think he might be getting called out as captain.
Well, Dimmick involved in a very strong tackle here. Flipping over winger Fred Peterson. And he takes his time in getting off, pushing back down, and maybe that's an area that the referee wants to clean up, and he believes that the Parramatta team is not helping him in that cause.
Well, I think the referee is aware that that penalty count is now starting to become a little bit embarrassing for Parramatta, and it's his job as referee to warn the captain that they are making these repeated infringements, and he will use the sin bin, I'm pretty sure, on the next occasion.
A double knock on here as the game gets scrappy. Phil Anderson, he's a cyclist, isn't he? Phil Adamson dropping the football. Parramatta Eels unable to clean up. Crouch losing it as well. Freeman will feed. Only 5 metres out from his own line, and the Eels are to win this game. They've got to get some spark. They've got to get some enthusiasm going. At the moment, their opposition are making more metres with the football, and this could be the man that provides that spark.
Well, the two players, and you pointed it out, along with Steve, Morgan and Spence, that's where they were getting their drive from. And with them went the spark that Parramatta were benefiting from. This is Crouch. Campbell with his kick away from dummy half. And he charges down the ground in a straight line. He'll make this tackle if he's got the pace. He hasn't. Ooh, Thompson.
Stuart Kelly coming in with a very strong shoulder charge.
Caddick. "17 as Clinches it. Now it's McGilvray. Drew in 14. Wondering if he's any relation, young Drew, to the former Parramatta president. Gower. Very big kick. It's going to go dead. So back to the 20-metre line for the restart. Beastly night here at Penrith. Rain has not stopped. Strong breeze and cold.
And Roy Simmons will be delighted with the form of his young players over the last couple of weeks. Of course, he pointed out, Parramatta get a penalty this time. Panthers inside the 10. But over the last season or two, they've lost a host of top-line players, led, of course, by the Australian captain, Brad Fittler. It was always going to be very difficult to get experience in the side with those kind of players leaving. But the potential of these young blokes is going to give him a lot of confidence going into 1997.
Campbell. This youngster, Anthony Bonus, seen him a couple of times. Talk about intensity. He doesn't lack any of it. He's full on, Anthony Bonus. Some good stuff from him. And he's only going to get better for the Parramatta club. Smith. And Kelly got a pass off. Much more is back on. I don't think we're going to see much more of him.
Oh, nice one, Ravi.
Turn it up. Unintentional. My apologies. Timeout. Now a penalty.
Kelly being penalised here, the referee saying that he either didn't release it or he had a marker. I think it will be the former.
Or maybe he walked off the mark. Could have got him for about 1,400 different things here, I think. Yeah, he's walked off the mark.
Ready to come back on. That is Gavin Clinch, former Gold Coast player. McNamara.
Strong charge here, takes Penrith inside the half of Parramatta, and in 25, Usa Foa is on for the Panthers. The step from Drew nearly takes him through. Last tackle signalled now. Much more limping in back play, so it's a 12-man defensive line for the Eels.
Adamson out wide. He's got around them, got rid of one, and then got a pass off for Campbell.
Yeah, good play there from Penrith. Didn't really have the numbers out there, but Adamson's strength and brute force nearly created something out of nothing. A good opportunity down the flanks there. He just strode through, players slipping over, and the ball inside taken by Campbell.
For the Panthers,
Much more is in all sorts of trouble, close to the sideline, limping off. Real problem for the Eels now with the amount of injuries they've sustained in this match. Caddick has also left the field, the centre for Penrith. He hasn't recovered since scoring the try.
Just under 15 minutes of the match remaining, and Penrith leading by 2.
Another youngster out there for Parramatta, Stephen Jolly. As Bobby Thompson straightens up. Each a couple of defenders. Jolly on in 23.
Girdler. His pass coming forward off the fingertips of Andrew Hinson.
From the Parramatta side, number 29, Robert.
The scrum will see a loose head and feed for Parramatta. And Robert Muchmore succumbing eventually to injury.
Probably won't see much more of.
Oh, don't remind me.
With Robert. He's a good player for the Parramatta side. He's called in numerous positions. Very strong defender. He's had a pretty good season as Parramatta win the ball. Chris Lawler looking to create something. Stuart Kelly well tackled.
From the Parramatta side, Anthony Rose off and Human Dimmick on.
Maybon. Freeman. Davey leaves it behind. That should be play on. It surprises me. I thought it came off the feet of the Penrith player. Davey knocked on, no question about it. Just watch it here. See if we get a different version of it. That's a knock on. Then off the feet. Where's the knock on?
Well, there's no Penrith knock on, so it should have been play on, but not to worry. They got the ball from the scrum. It goes through to Henson.
How good's he going, Brad? What about that? Jimmy Dimmick back on the field now. Probably stay there for the duration of the game as Troy Campbell. It's a good ball away. It's touched in flight, so 6 again. Freeman throws a dummy and runs into the shoulder of Ryan Girdler.
Played there by Crouch. That's McKenzie. Lawler and Dimmick putting it together. Maybon working in traffic. They're trying to find an opening here. A lot of ball movement. Now they're out on the left of the ground with a chance for Russell. 2 metres from the line. Parramatta down by 2. And he can't play the ball. So they'll move the mark.
Well, they're letting the trainers come on. It must be
is John Cartwright's last game.
A serious injury to him.
We'll be inviting John to do a final lap of honour around Panther Stadium.
So at the 68th minute, with a Parramatta player injured, we'll take this break and be back. Penrith 18-16.
Big lap of honour for John Cartwright.
Young Shane Russell assisted. Not off the field. He's still on. Now they knock on. Advantage applies. And Jody Gall again was in the right spot at the right time. That is a foul. He looked to me as though he was limping when he went out. It was, I think, a makeshift replacement, really. So there's a bit of gallantry here on both sides.
The survival of the fittest at the moment. A big advantage for Penrith as we go into the last 10 minutes of this game is the length of their kicking game. It's been very good. This time Gower just drills it low. Great kick. Running touch 20 metres out. He and Garen Casey have done a pretty good job in that department. They'll be looking to play good field position.
And John Cartwright, oh, this Steve Waddell's face telling a story. He's had a pretty hard game out there and a real battle, and John Cartwright's gone out for the last 10 minutes of his Sydney career, and I've got no doubt he'll be a great success for the Salford club in England. He'll be coached here by Under Gregory, and he'll be just the sort of player they need to move up the ladder in their division.
Smith floating a beautiful pass. That is Lawler out there on the wing now. He kept the ball in play, but Brad Drew has come up with it for the Panthers.
And that was poor play from Chris Lawler. He had a chance to come back in the field of play, decided to go again, and eventually lost the football as Afoa takes the ball forward. Jason Smith again slowly back into position. McNamara takes the 41 out.
Cartwright, then Gower. Taken down by Scanlon. Drew, away from Clinch. Gall in 13. If Penrith are to win the man of the match, the Optus man of the match tonight, it, from my point of view, would be the 7 or the 13. Maybon. Davey. I was talking of Trevor Gilmeister's departure from the game on Sunday. And Davey coming from Canterbury reminds me that Terry Lamb will pull the curtain down. Here's a chance for the Panthers. Duncan McGilvray. Had it, lost it, got it back in again. Afoa. Drew. McNamara. Big Carl takes them on. 8 metres away from the line. Cartwright. Crowd lifted then. They thought the big fella might have been in for a try. Away from Clinch. Into Girdler. Short ball for goal. 10 metres out, 5 tackles gone. Clinch again. Rolls it into the corner and over the dead ball line.
Yeah, they're not real deep dead balls here at Penrith Stadium, and the greasy conditions wouldn't be helping those kicks. They're not stopping dead. Ball just slipping through there. A nice little try. The speed of Hinson just wasn't quick enough.
Kelly. Jason Smith working the football around between them, played by Lawler, and now Campbell. Jason Smith. Demick, Freeman. Bonus. McNamara had him in his sights. Campbell getting it out, and McNamara is there for Penrith.
The Eels were going nowhere fast there. Eventually the ball into the hands of the Penrith team. Brad Drew taking it centre field. It will be penalty. No, he'll get the penalty here. And really all Penrith need to do for the remainder of this match is to play the football game at this end of the field. They defended well. They've got possession now. If they can't score the try, rolled into the in-goal area like Gavin Clinch tried to do in the last set of 6. These conditions are very, very difficult. I can't believe that they're taking a kick at goal.
That penalty, you might be wondering why that was given. It's because the Penrith player had not released the ball for the contest to take place. Watch this, the hands on the ball, and Smith strikes for it. And the ruling suggests, the way I read it, that he has to release the football before either player can strike for it. And that's exactly what the referee has said to Jason Smith, who copped it sweet and walked away. 18-16, the Panthers by 2.
I know this would take them to a 4-point lead, but I don't really think they need to kick this one. All it's going to do, if he does kick it, is bring play back to their end of the field when Parramatta restarts.
Or where Penrith could make a mistake.
At the moment, to travel 90 metres in these conditions, well, we haven't seen it done all night.
So from 35 out, and he's put it between the uprights. That caps a magnificent kicking game for Ryan Girdler. 20 points to 16 in one of the lowly placed clubs. He's got a lot of points alongside his name.
Yeah, it's a big effort. record over 60 goals this year. And we did see from a restart, Carl McNamara knock on. The Panthers have got to make sure that they get a good set of 6 under their belt here, and at the end of it, maybe not even wait till the last tackle before they get a long kick away.
McNamara. Waddell. Player in 23 for Parramatta is Jolly. Cartwright. Apparently he will be honoured, or has been asked would he like to do a lap of honour at the end of tonight. It's a sad thing that it's been so wet and miserable that one of their greatest players, in fact I would rate John Cartwright as the most loyal and highest contributor ever to the Penrith club. I can't give him a big enough, any bigger rating than that. Nobody has done more for Panthers than John Cartwright.
No, and he's deserving of a crowd of something like 20,000 to see him off. Penalty goes to Parramatta. He hasn't got that tonight. He's got, I think, about 3,500 here, but I'll give him a good send-off. Don't worry about that.
Possibly the last throw of the dice here for the Eels. As Bonus gets crunched. 3 Penrith defenders meet him. They deserve this victory, Penrith. Their enthusiasm in the second half has been far greater than their opposition's. All the line breaks against them in the first half. They've closed up their defence in the second, and somehow the referee's seen a knock on there.
Well, you can see Jim Dimmock saying it didn't go forward, sir. I tend to agree with Jim Dimmock, but it's already been ruled. And the scrum will pack down just a couple of metres on the Parramatta side of halfway as a result of all of that. 3 minutes of the match remaining. 3 minutes of the season remaining, to be more accurate, for both of these clubs. Hinson will play it. Boyd is back on. Simmons, I think, will be quite impressed with the replacement dummy half, Brad Drew. Let's give him a bit of pace around the play the balls to the Panthers. Waddell. Boyd. Clinch. Grubbers in behind Russell. Oh, the fullback's made a mistake, and it's a try. Scored by Girdler. Ryan Girdler.
Yes, he's the top try scorer all season. He'll be the top point scorer, He'll be in this game as well. And it's very rare to see Rod Maybon make a mistake, but the tactic was a good one. Clinch putting it in. Very trying conditions, the ball on the ground, and Maybon, he's probably made one mistake all year, and that was it. Ryan Girdler was the right man, the right place.
He's had a great game tonight, Ryan Girdler, and he really deserves his try. A nice kick. And Parramatta, well, this is how their season's gone, isn't it? They promised so much, delivered very little, really. Cold, hard facts of the matter are that. And they bow out. 1996, and the Penrith boys send out Johnny Cartwright, their captain, as a winner.
Not only that, they've given him the job of attempting conversion of Ryan Girdler's try.
Hundreds. And then again, we've seen some great things happen. Players bowing out. Roy Simmons scored 2 tries in the grand final. That doubled his career tally.
Cartwright. Oh, bad kick. He's only just missed
Give it to him.
Real Johnny Cartwright. He nearly went out on a very big note. And Big Hoss with that sly grin across the face. Look at this.
He just turned over his ankle at the end, which put a bit of draw on it.
Bad luck, Johnny boy. But anyway, They have sent you out a winner, big fella. And nobody, there's been some big names pass through this club, deserves to go out a winner more than John Cartwright. Waddell, 24-16. The Panthers have beaten Parramatta, and fittingly the ball ends with John Cartwright. It ends a magnificent Australian career, not only for Carthy, but of course it takes out the 17 times New Zealand captain Gary Freeman. The Wiz is in amongst them there, former Panther, now with the Eels, and bringing down the curtain on his career. So plenty of emotion. The score basically only academic, as it carries the message of an 8-point victory to the Panthers over Parramatta.